So this is lesson 2.2, part A. We are going to multiply rational expressions. So if we take a look at our first, this is just a normal fraction. And on your guys's, it is on the top of the next page. So the top of page 13. Yeah, it's just in a little bit of a different order. So when we multiply fractions, the rule for multiplying is straight across, top to top, bottom to bottom. So we would multiply these guys and these guys. Now, there's also something called cross-canceling, where you cross-cancel common factors. So I'm going to draw it a little bigger. Okay, I can't see them. 3 over 4 times 8 over 15. So you look diagonally and see if you can divide anything out. So between 3 and 15, you can divide out 3. So this guy divides out of 3, becomes a 1. This guy divides out of 3, becomes a 5. When we do this, we're going to get to the reduced lowest term answers quicker. 8 divides by 4 twice. 4 divides by itself once. Final answer, times your tops. 2 times 1 is 2. 1 times 5 is 5. Your final answer is going to be 2 over 5. Now, we could have got it the old way, where we just do top to top, bottom to bottom. But that would have given us a big number that we'd have to math frac down, okay? Now, you can always math frac. If you don't like to cross-cancel, that's fine, okay? But we're going to be doing a bunch of it, okay? So now just flip back to the other page. We're just going to do the bottom of the other page. We've got a couple fractions there. We're going to deal with those. So.
I was going to say, if you weren't teaching it, the teacher wanted to ask.
Need to come do it?
If you could do it in front of us.
Okay, I'll do it as soon as I'm done.
Okay, that's good. Thank
you. Mr. Kennedy is away at provincials. They're all floundering in -1. They're like, what do we do? Okay. That was 20-1. Yeah, right? Okay. So here we go. Multiply top to top, bottom to bottom. Is there anything we can cross-cancel? Yes, you can cross-cancel your 2 and 4. So your answer should give you 2 over 3. Okay? Now, dividing. Does anybody remember dividing fractions? We never divide fractions. What is the rule for dividing? We flip and times. Flip and times. So we will always take a look at the fraction after the divide sign. So the fraction after the divide sign is going to flip upside down. So we're going to have 3 over 4. The negative sign will stay on the top. So the negative sign stays on top. The divide sign changes to a times, changes to multiply. So now, we multiply top to top, bottom to bottom. We're going to get -3 over 8. The other fractions you have there are adding and subtracting. We're going to do these other ones instead. Yeah? Oh, yours didn't have a negative? Throw it on. Throw it on. Yep.
So why don't we do that?
With
Why
number
don't we just like E? Why don't we do it for like
for this guy? Why don't we do what, dear?
like
Oh, the cross cancel thing?
yeah, like how you switch the
We only do it when we divide. Only for dividing. That's all. If we're multiplying, we never flip.
But I'm also
Okay, that's a very good question. So the rule is the first fraction doesn't change. He always stays the same. Okay, he's like the boss. He stays the same. So first fraction doesn't change. Second fraction does change. Okay, good question. All right, the other fractions that you don't have there, you've got this one. So write this new one, please. 12 over 10 times -5 over 4. Okay, instead of the adding one, you've got letter C as an adding and letter D as a subtracting. We're just replacing them with these two. So here's this first one for C. I just drew it really big. Okay, so you have 12 over 10 timesing 5 over 4. Is there anything we can cross-cancel here? Yes. So 12 divides by 4 3 times. Okay, 4 divides by itself once. 10 will divide by 5 twice. 5 divides by himself once. Now, this guy's got a negative, so we've got 3 times -1 to give us a -3. And on the bottom, we have a 2. 2 times 1. Okay? So for For letter C, we should get this guy. Okay? I'll put letter D just over here. I'm just going to erase this other stuff. So I'll put letter D over here. Here's your new letter D. It is 1 over 6 divide 8 over 24. So 1 over 6 divided by 8 over 24. Okay? So with this dividing, this is the letter D. This is the one we're replacing for letter D. Divide sign, we keep the first fraction the same, 1 over 6. Divide sign changes to timesing. And now I got to flip the 24 and the 8. So 24 goes upstairs, 8 goes to the bottom. Okay? Now we're going to look diagonally, and we're going to see if there's anything here that can cross cancel. They both divide by 6? Yeah, they both divide by 6. So 6 divides by himself once, 24 divides by 6 4 times. So we're going to have on top 1 times 4 to give us 4. On the bottom, 1 times 8 to give us 8. Now we would have to reduce our final answer. Okay? So 4 over 8 is equal to 1/2. Okay? 4 over 8 equals 1/2. Okay? Pretty good? Now we're going to start doing it with the rational expressions. So turn your page, and you're going to see right next to the top, you've got this question right here. You've got x plus 3 over 2 and x plus 1 over 4. So we're going to multiply those. So I'm just going to rewrite them here. X plus 3 over 2 times x plus 1 over 4. So if we multiply those, when you have a binomial, binomials need to stay in a bracket. They're not going to show you a bracket, so you need to put them in brackets. So these guys are binomials. We put them in a bracket. So there's nothing I can cross-cancel diagonally. Because if I was to cross-cancel it, they would have to be identical in every way if there's brackets. So there's nothing identical. So what we would do is we would multiply straight across and straight across. Now when we're multiplying, all we're going to do is set the brackets side by side. Unless the question wants us to FOIL it or area box it, we just set them as brackets. So this guy is going to look like x plus 3. I'm just going to erase this stuff here. So x plus 3 times x plus 1, all on top of, now I multiply 2 times 4, and I get my 8. Okay? So, in the top, all you've got is x plus 3 and x plus 1. So you have 2 different binomials up top. And that's what we're going to get very, very often, actually. Okay? We're going to move to a few other questions. I'll give you a minute to write that down.
This one. This one.
Okay. So right after that it says, explain why it is important to simplify and do your non-permissibles before you cross-cancel. Why should you identify non-permissibles right after you factor? Why do you have to do that? So I know what? Okay, so we know what it's not. Yeah. What else? Why do we always have to find non-permissibles before we start wiping off common factors? Why do we have to do that? Make sure it doesn't equal 0. Yeah. Take a look. Yeah. That's right. If one of them disappears, you won't know. Okay? Okay. So, let's take a look. Here's an example. Example, if we have, let's say, x minus 2, x plus 3, and on the bottom, we have x plus 4, x minus 2, and x plus 5. Now, if I don't do my non-permissibles at this step, I would end up wiping off my x minus 2's. They'd be gone. And I would be missing one of my non-permissible values. So that's why we always have to make sure that we do non-permissibles right after we factor. Because right after we factor, we have our non-permissibles, then we can wipe things off because we know we've already dealt with it. So, what makes this one 0? -4, +2, -5, okay? So, in a multiple choice question, you might find something where they don't list all your non-permissibles, and you might forget if you've already wiped it off. So, we're going to make a statement, and our statement's going to say this. So, it's asking why. We're going to say because, my B/C is because. It is because you may cancel out a factor on the bottom. And forget to list it as an NPV. It's all about the NPVs. We want to make sure we don't miss any of them. And if we wipe things out too soon, we might miss some of them. Okay? That's the whole idea there. Okay? So the whole idea is so that we don't miss anything. That's basically the reason. Okay, are we good to go almost? Okay. So it's going to show you the steps. We're just going to read below. The basic steps it tells you is we're going to fully factor everything. That's our first one, factor. Okay? So, you guys have these down here. Mine just looks a little different right now. It's okay. So, yours says this a little bit later. Okay? I just have mine under them. Okay? This part right here is right under step 1, 2, 3, and it's in the starred. It's double starred. It says, remember, when you multiply variables, so multiply variables, you add exponents. When you divide variables, you subtract exponents. So you should highlight that in that sentence. Okay? So, multiplying adds exponents, dividing subtracts the exponents. Okay? So those are all of our steps. So, mine just look, they're in different spots, but they're the exact same questions you have. So, our first one is a normal fraction. We're just going to take and do some cross-canceling. What can I cross-simplify in the first one here? Okay, 5 and 15 divided by 5, becoming a 1 and a 3. What else can I do? 8 and 4, becomes a 1 and a 2. So my answer when I multiply my numerators, that's going to give me a 1 on top, and I multiply 2 and 3 on the bottom, and get a 6. Okay? All right. Let's try it with some variables now. So now we got variables. What we're going to do is we're just going to slide everything side by side. Okay? So, if 4, well, we can cross-simplify actually. So, 4 and 8. What do 4 and 8 have in common? They can both divide by 4. So the 4 becomes a 1, the 8 becomes a 2. Okay? Then we're going to deal with our x's. How many x's do you see on the top? 2. How many are on the bottom? 2. You got 1 on the left and 1 on the right. So it doesn't matter. They don't have to be diagonal and they don't have to be right under them. Because what we're doing is we're taking the whole bottom compared to the whole top. So, if I've got 2 of these x's on top, I can take both x's from the bottom. Okay? Now, what about my y's? What can I do with the y's? You can reduce them, right? So I can subtract them. One's on top, one's on the bottom. So I've got y2 subtracts y1. How many left? 1 on top. So this guy becomes y1. There's no more y's on the bottom. So now our final answer will be 1y over 6. Okay? So our final answer ended up with no variables in the denominator, and that's okay. But one thing we forgot to do, like I always tell you not to forget, what did I forget to do first? Non-permissible, so I got to erase that. What can x and y not be if they sit beside something? 0. Good. So then we just write them both. X comma y cannot equal 0. They both can't equal 0. Okay, that was our non-permissible for this guy. Okay? Let's take a look at your letter C. Letter C, let's do our non-permissible so we don't lose those right away. So, what variable do we have on the denominator? A letter C only. So what can C not be? 0. So C can't be 0. We got our non-permissible. Now we can start wiping off things. So, let's do diagonal. What about 5 and 10? Divide by 5 gives us a 1. Divides by 5 gives us a 2. What about my letter C's? Can I reduce those? Yeah. So I'll have 1 left on top and none on the bottom. All right. I do have another letter, though. I have a letter D. So you do have to take all of the variables, not just the ones on the bottom. All of the variables need to have restrictions. So D isn't on the bottom, though. So how do we say he has no restrictions? D-E-R. Good. D-E-R. Perfect. So now all we have to do now is combine them. We're going to multiply tops, multiply bottoms. So 1 times 1 gives us our 1 sitting beside D. Remember that 1 can hide. And then on the bottom, oh yeah, we have C2, thank you. And we will put those alphabetically. So you put C, E, C and D, and just that hidden 1 in front. Now on the bottom, we have a 2 and a 2. We're going to multiply and get a 4, and we're done. Now remember, they can take the coefficient and the bottom number and create a fraction coefficient. So it could look like this, or 1 over 4 CD, like that. Okay, and that's okay. They can do that. You'll see it both ways. All right, let's take a look at letter D right here. It's already factored for us, so all we have to do on letter D is do non-permissibles. So what would make my first bracket on the left here equal to 0? Negative 1? Positive 1, right? 1 subtract 1 is 0. What about the 2x on the bottom? 0. So our non-permissibles, x cannot equal 0 or 1. Okay? I'm just going to erase my CDs here so I can go across. So, now we can start canceling. So I see automatically I have an identical bracket top and bottom. They're gone. Now we can take our x's on the outside of brackets. So we have an x on the outside of brackets on top, and we have an x on the bottom. We can get rid of both of those. So this guy goes, and this guy goes. Now we can look diagonally at the digits. Is there anything diagonally that reduces? The 2 and the 4. So 2 and 4 are both going to divide by 2. This one becomes a 1. The guy over here becomes a 2. There's nothing else we can simplify. So now what we do is we're going to multiply both coefficients on top. You got to multiply those together. So we're going to have 10 beside the bracket, x plus 3. And on the bottom, we've got 3 times 1 to give us a 3. And that will be our final answer. Okay, any questions so far? No? All right, let's just try these bottom two and see how they go. All right, let's erase my stuff here. Can we move up? Oh, we're still writing. I'll give you. Okay, let's take a look at the bottom two here. So, these ones are not factors. These are the type you're going to see. So the first thing we always do is we look at our factor tree. And our factor tree always starts with what on top? GCF. Then we either look at 2 terms or 3 terms. 3 terms is diamond. 2 terms is difference of squares, where we square root. So, the first one we're doing is GCF. What can I divide out of the top left? A 2 and x. 2x. So 2x comes out of the top. Now we divide it. So x2 subtracts x1 and leaves us just an x. Negative 12 divides by 2 and gives us a negative 6. Ugh. Alright, 15x on the bottom, and we write the other one right beside. Alright. Now we're at the point where we do non-permissibles. So we're fully factored. So this guy, 0, this guy, 6. So those are our non-permissibles, 0 and 6. Okay? Now we're going to start wiping stuff off. Just going to move it up a little bit for the people back there. Okay, so 0 and 6 are the non-permissibles. I'm going to wipe them off so that I can start working with my stuff here. All right. What is the first thing, obviously, that disappears? X minus 6. Good. So this guy's gone. All right. What else do we notice we can remove with a variable? Okay, we can remove a 5. So divide by 5, I get a 1. Divide by 5, I get a 3. What about the variables? I can get rid of this x and the one right below them. Okay? Do I have anything left on the bottom? No. And that's okay. Sometimes you won't end up with a denominator. So now you're just going to multiply 2 times the 1 to give you a 2. We still have an x left over. And on the bottom, you've got a 3. And again, this could look like 2/3 x. Okay, so it's both. Yeah, you could. But you're combining this with this now. Right? Okay?
It wouldn't matter if you canceled out the one with X because it's already right.
Nope. Nope. And then you would have kept this one and got rid of that one. That's fine. Yeah. Okay. We've only got a couple examples left. Here we go. Factoring first. Top left does not need factoring. So 12x exponent 3. The top right, what can I take out of the top right? 4x squared. Good. That's going to leave me x plus 2. Now, what can I take out of the bottom left? 3x. Good. That's going to leave me an x plus 2. And I've got a 5. All right. I just put it all under one big fraction. It's fine. Alrighty, what do we see we can take off? Are we ready to start removing things? NPVs, good. So non-permissible values, what are they? 0, negative 2. So x can't be 0 and negative 2. Okay, so we got to list our NPVs. Now we can start reducing. So x plus 2 is going to go. X plus 2 is going to go. How many x's do you have on top? 5 of them. Because you have 3 and 2 more is 5. You have 1 on the bottom. So that means this guy can go and this guy goes to a 2. Okay? Now, digits, do we have anything we can divide out? Well, 12 and 3 can divide out. How many times is 12 divided by 3? 4 times. 3's gone. 12 becomes 4. Now we're going to combine the top. We're going to get 4 times 4, 16x 4. So you have to combine your x's that are left. These guys right here. You have 2 there and 2 there. Okay, you've got to combine those as well. And your bottom is a 5. Okay? So you're ending up with a monomial answer. Okay? Those are your practice questions. There are 4 practice questions. We will take those up first thing tomorrow. This concludes point 2, part 8 of multiplying.